This property got 57 offers? What the heck is going on in this market? Are bidding wars back? Short answer, yes, but not really. So make sure to stay tuned to find out exactly what the heck is happening. And because right now, as you can see, headlines like this are being sensationalized, you definitely need to work with someone who knows what the heck is going on right now. So if you want to work with our team, you can book a call with me using the link right here. It's www.chatwithzen.com. Simply click on the date and the time that works best for you. And then when you see the prompt, fill in your name, email, mobile phone number, and the question you have for me, and then we'll chat then. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. My name is Zen, and I own and operate a RE/MAX Excel in the Greater Toronto area, on top of making wild, awesome educational real estate content just like this for you. And I thought I would give you some boots on the ground data as to what the heck is happening and what our team is seeing, because we are surprisingly busy right now, despite what the headlines may be telling you if the market in the world is falling. Because when I read a lot of the headlines, the world is crazy right now. So the first article, and the only article we'll be reviewing, is this one. This property just got 57 offers, and why is Toronto suddenly seeing a spike in bidding wars? Again, bravo, Toronto Star, your editor nails the headlines every single time. So this listing agent basically had a property in Scarborough by Lawrence and Warden, and she got 57 offers. Now, the one thing I only want to draw to your attention here is that with what she said, with this price point, we knew we were going to get some offers. We just didn't expect 23. So I can relate to that, and I'm going to share a story with you and give you kind of behind the curtains of what happened at one of our listings. But this makes total sense from what I can tell. The picturesque, perfect properties, like I've been saying, are going. Like maybe 1 in 4 or 5 properties that look like that, they have competition. But not all of them are like that. So it's not like what it was in February, right? It's just kind of like, I would say we're probably closer to like late 2018 when there was a little bit of interest rate hike and things were slowing down before 2019 freeholds came back roaring back from the 2017 slowdown. That's kind of where I think it feels like right now. So let's dissect this listing. Obviously I can't share the address for you because I'm going to get yelled at, but 57 offers, sold for $1,020,000. List price, $629,900, and it sold for $400,000 more or less over ask. Look, if you're going to underprice something like this, and I would say if I looked at this house initially, because we did with our clients, I would say this is probably going to sell for like high 9s because it's in a nice pocket of Scarborough in Wexford, and it's also a nice house, right? So am I surprised it sold for like $1,020,000? No. Did it get 57 offers? Is that surprising? Yeah, that's a lot. But when you underprice it by $400,000, heck yeah, obviously. So here's the things that I will point out. That's kind of weird, in this listing anyway. So it says listing agent can assist with excellent financing to qualified buyers. So as a listing agent, you want to make sure the person who's buying this is obviously qualified. So if you're experienced in the industry, you'll know to do that. And you also want to make sure that they have the ability to buy this thing on the off chance it underappraises, right? Because just because you come with no conditions, the thing can still blow up in your face if you don't know what's going on and you manage the whole transaction, right? But to say that 57 offers is one-off and say that the fall market is crazy and we're getting a sudden amount of bidding wars, no. Don't let that change your thought process of what's happening in the market, because the nerd in me just numbers it for you. I don't know if that's a word. Anyways, so what I did here is I pulled all the numbers on the MLS Treb side to give you an idea of what's going on. Obviously, the full data is going to come out, but let's just look at what stuff sold for over ask and under ask. So from September 1st to 25, we got about 5,100 sales. It's a little bit under August, which is a little bit weird, but I'll touch upon that next week in the market watch. But there's a week left for us to catch up to August, but still, it's still very, very low for the number of transactions. Now, the other thing that's really weird is that we have 75% freeholds versus 25% condos that sold. Normally, it's like 50, 60. When it was pandemic and everyone had a background, it was like 65, 70. So this is weird. We got to check that out next week again. So make sure to stay tuned and subscribe. Now, here's kind of what I was telling you earlier. How many homes sold for over ask? You can see right here, about 20% of freehold homes in the GTA sold over ask. That means 1 in 5 homes sold for over ask, and there are multiple offers. However, the rest of them, didn't, right? So you got, 9% that sold for the listing price, and you got about 71% that sold for under. So that's why, depending on who you talk to, the market could be really busy, it could be very slow. Depending on who you talk to, there could be a lot of buyers, there could be no buyers, right? Depending on the listing data, because nobody looks at all the data and they don't have enough like boots on the ground data unless they're a big volume team or like a real estate agent, right? Now, if you look at the condo side, even less. So you got less, about 15% that sold over ask, and then the rest, like 10% at ask, and then 75% under ask. So the condo market's not as strong right now. It's not as competitive because people are still trying to get into the freehold, as you can tell from the data. Now, the nerd in me obviously want to see, what is a distressed property? Is it being sold? Because there are a lot of people back in like March until July that had to fire sell their property because they have to buy something and close. And I suspected that would probably get flushed out by like September, October. And I'll let you decide whether you think that's being flushed out or not, because I looked at how many properties sold for less than 90% and about 3% of them. I don't think that's a high amount, but it's not a low amount either, right? And then how many of them sold for less than 95% of the ask price? About a quarter of them, which is actually quite a lot. But like I was saying earlier in this video, this is similar. That reminds me of the late 2018 market where things weren't moving that quickly, and you would have to take a lot less, 5% on $1 million, it's like 50 grand, than what you were asking. So some people see it a lot, some people isn't, right? But at the same time, you also have to remember, a lot of people kind of like terminate and they relist it after a couple price drops, right? So there are potentially higher numbers than this. It's just because of the way things are being listed. So with that being said, I am going to give you an idea of some boots on the ground data and behind the curtains of what the heck is happening. But before we do that, if you like any of this content, you found it educational, make sure you help the channel by pressing the like button, smashing it actually, and subscribing to the Prime Property channel. And if you do want to work with experienced realtors like us and our team, you can book a call with me using the link that's right here. It's www.chatwithzen.com. Okay, let's get into a random game and a name I just came up called What the Friggity Diggity Happened in the Market with This Listing right here. So the first one, this is a listing that we had, so I can give you some behind the curtains kind of data. We listed this townhome in Richmond Hill for about basically $1 million. We had 194 showings over the course of a week, which is absolutely wild. This is even somewhat crazier than some of the listings we had in February and January. And then we had 30 offers. Now, 3 of them came in, like I said over here, under the ask price, which is perfectly fine. But then 10 of them went over a comp that sold nearby in the area that I would arguably say is kind of nicer than this one, but it's in a worse off area, right? So we had a lot of people come through. We had a lot of offers. We had 5 people try to put a bully in, and then ultimately it ended up selling for 1.3, which is a lot. We basically got $300,000 over. Am I a jerk for listing it that way? Some would argue yes, but I have to look out for my client's best interest and I need to get them the most money possible. So doing it this way from our research made total sense because we were the only house on the block and I knew a ton of people were looking for this house. Now, when I look at the data over here, this is definitely a one-off. I wouldn't look at this and say, hey, the entire market is like this. So that's why I pulled up some other stuff that our team was looking at to give you an idea of what was going on. So you got another one here. This was listed in our brokerage as well. So we had 27 offers on this and it was listed at $799 and they didn't sell. And this house is very similar to the one that was in the article. So this is this one. It's kind of like around the corner and very similar in spec. This one sold for $1.020 million. This one didn't sell a lot and it got relisted for $1.2 million. So it was trying to pull 400 grand over. Now, obviously, it just really depends on whether the seller needs to sell or not, and you don't get the price or not, right? Because the rental market is so hot, they can always just end up renting it out, right? So 27 offers, none of them could get over to the 1.2 or whatever the number they could get it at, which I think is totally reasonable because the other one went for $1.020 million. For this one, it's like same size lot. I mean, it's a little bit better downstairs, but is it 1.2? It's up to the buyers to say, right? So that's kind of a weird one that's happening right now. Then we got another one here, which is a ginormous home in the Markham area. This one hits a lot of the school districts people want to be in. They listed for $1.89 million, which is right here. You can see they had 7 offers on offer nights. Obviously, they didn't take any of them, and they relisted for $700,000 more. Come on. Like, what's going on, right? Then you got the next one here. This is a semi-detached, also in Markham. It's a pretty good home. I think this sold for exactly what I thought it would be because you're not going to be able to find a semi that's under $1 million in Markham, right? So that hits a lot of the school districts. So this hits kind of your subdivision for anyone who's raising a family and the kids need to start going to public school. This is the perfect starter home in the Markham area. So they got 6 offers. It sold for that price. Makes total sense. But this is to show you that there are a lot of people still looking for a home, and users specifically, right? So that's what I'm saying. If your house hits the check marks or most of the check marks for a lot of buyers, it will have competition in it. So you just need to know what type of product you are selling. Then we got this one. This one's a little bit weird. So we got a downtown condo here, had 14 offers listed at $700,000, sold conditionally. Conditions expire today when the video goes up, so I don't know what's going on this. The weird thing that I want to point out here is that I don't know if they weren't expecting offers, because it says offers anytime, and then eventually the email went out saying that 14 offers came in and they're reviewing at a certain time. So that's kind of weird. Also, they didn't say what the condition was. But if I was the listing agent and I've accepted an offer that was conditional, and when I looked at the 30 offers we had in the Richmond Hill, I would say the top 10 were all unconditional. So for someone to accept something conditional, this price point has been so good, and you had to have so much faith in the buyers in waiving that condition for you to not sell this firm. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens this one. This one's kind of weird. This one's weird. Then you got the next one here. This is a townhome in Aurora. We have clients looking for here. This is also exactly what we thought it would sell for, but it had 8 offers. It's a town that's basically a semi because it's a corner, and the other side over here is just basically an entire forest, so it's really, really nice. Stuff around this area has been selling for like $1,050,000 or so. So I would say if you're paying maybe like $50,000, $65,000 more for being beside the forest, I'd say it's a pretty good deal, right? So it's not like people are overpaying for things. I think people are still within a price point, a little bit here or there with like a 1 or 2, 3% maybe wiggle room, but it's not like anything that's completely outrageous. And obviously with a lot of these offers, there's guaranteed a lot of people are trying to lowball thinking that it will work because they're just not really sure what's happening in the market, thinking that every seller is desperate just by the headlines they're reading, right? So again, make sure you work with someone that knows what's going on. Then you got the last one here I pulled up for you. This one was basically was going to be a home run, like it's going to be like a crazy hit. So you got basically what is a property that looks into a marina, into Lake Ontario, wicked space, 2 parking spots, low maintenance fee in a condo, listed for $1 million, went for 1.3. Yeah, not surprised here. Like this was done really, really, really well, but even in this current market right now, this is such a unique product that has water view. It's not really going to go out of style, right? So again, this one's a little bit on the outlier, and they did really well on this, but I wouldn't say every single property is like this, right? That's why you've seen in my list of collection, a lot more freeholds are going over ask than condos are, because condos have to be very, very unique, or they're priced very oddly for it to get that price point, right? Or it has to be that perfect layout that everyone is looking for, right? So again, you need to know what's going on, right? Because whether you talk to agent A or agent B, you may get a total different answer depending on the amount of volume that they're doing and how much transaction. Because if you don't have enough boots on the ground data and you only have a listing that is not doing really well, you'll think the world is on fire and everything's not selling. But if you also have listings that only do really well, you think the market is doing really, really well. And again, it's probably somewhere in the middle. The market's stabilizing, and you just have to know what's going on. It's very localized right now, depending on the type of product you are. And I think there's even a very big divide depending on the price points you're looking at in the kind of like community you're looking at, not even city, like community, right? So if you are looking for someone to kind of guide you on this fall market that actually has experience and knows what the heck is going on, you can book a call with our team using the link right here. It's www.chatwithzen.com. Until next time, your move, your future. See ya! Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Oh, you know what? This one's good too. Ooh, this one's really good. You know what? Just watch them both.